Greetings! Let me know if you can hear me. Oh, where is it buffering? Don't buffer. Poop. Heather is a prankster. Alright. Sorry. I was seeing some buffering and like, no, don't buffer because I don't know how to fix it. Happy Saturday, everyone. And hi and greetings. How are you guys today? Have some hot chocolate today because sugar. This is the kind of day that requires a bit of sugar, so. And I have a spoon that is actually a skull, which is pretty fun. Alright, so like I said, I am not exactly sure what I want to draw today. The thing is that there are many things that I could be drawing, but I'm kind of tired, so like there are things that I want to do, but I want to have a bit more like a faster thinking brain when I work on it, because I don't want to mess up the painting and do like stupid mistakes. You know, the kind of mistake you do when you're tired, with like having two left hands, two right hands, 2 feet that are the same feet instead of being mirror feet. That kind of silly stuff. Oh, sorry, yeah. Happy Caturday. Like I said, a bit slow today. Catching up on the chat. Hi, hey, Otto, and Ethereal Ode, and Ian, and Heather. Hi, Lee, and Joyce, and Temple. He says, I'm supposed to be at an art walk today. What's preventing you from going? Ooh, pumpkin spice tea, that sounds amazing. Yeah, I could do it, Eve Trust Pets. It's been a while. I have pumpkin spice creamer in my hot cocoa. So it's kind of in between. Yay! My brain is not working today. Oh no! Oh yikes! Young gold. Yeah. Social events, they require a lot of like mind preparation for some people, so I can understand truly. I hope you feel better soon. Yeah. No need for sugar, but tastes like pumpkin pie in a mug. So good. Yep, 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 yep. I really like spiced tea. Like any kind of spices in there. I think most spiced tea we have are often called chai teas, but I think chai basically means tea, so we're saying tea. I think perhaps masala is the word for spices. So instead of chai tea, should we call these masala teas? Masala chai? These ramblings are courtesy of this Saturday. Though, to be fair, today is not so bad outside. It's windy as all things, like the leaves go in all directions, but hey, Joyce! Heather says Joyce is a good friend of mine, so I dragged her over here. Heather always drags me like I'm one of her cats. Aww. Oh no. Yeah, selling one's art is not always easy. It's easier online, to be fair, but I think there is really something to gain from selling like at events. But the thing is, there are not that many events. And I really should get something going over here instead of my hands doing blah. Let's get this and this for now. Trusty binder. It's kind of difficult selling art. I find that over here it's really hard because I live in a... I think the fact that this is a big city with a lot of people, it just means that there is also a lot of artists, so the venues are limited, and yeah, and it's not like I actively promote my stuff to be put in cafes or whatnot. I actually do nothing of the sort, but it's a bit different on the local standpoint. Like if you live in a town that has only one person selling handmade pies, as an example, well, you're probably gonna buy from them if the pies are good. But if you live in a town that has like 100 business selling handmade pies, then well, it's kind of weird. There's also more people, but yeah, I don't know. What am I talking about? I don't even know. Okay. Ian says, I am swatching up to 200 pounds, whoa, of watercolor paint, so I'm being very focused. Wow. This says, is that 200 pounds worth of paint, or 200 paints, or one paint that is 200 pounds? Yes, I agree. These are important questions. Inquiring minds must know about expensive paints. Heather says, me? Drag cats? Yeah, that's why I go around looking like the cat lady figurine. One on the shoulders, one on the arms, and one and more around my feet. Aw. It's pretty awesome to keep warm in this weather. Well, if it's one paint that is worth 200 pounds, it's gotta be like some kind of really pure lapidazuli or something. Like the prettiest of all the blue. Alright. That might be bad. What if it's really gorgeous? With paint that expensive, yeah. A 3-year-old and I, we thought about the same thing. to be like a full pan of lettuce. Yes, a half pan, 200 pounds a half pan. No, you know what? When they put it in fancy little shells, that's a shell of lapis lazuli. Okay, so let me. I think I will do perhaps some Eve Draws pets, but I don't think I have my phone with me. Oh, I have my phone with me. Hey, phone, what's up? I will probably do these on bee paper, just because it's my favorite paper for sketching. It's really nice paper. It's cotton paper and it's affordable. I won't say splurge because it's not really an excess thing, but I've stumbled upon 2 sales of Arches paper pads recently, so I stocked up. One sale was it was the best price I found for the blog, not the blogs, the pads. And usually that store has shipping fees, but they didn't have any shipping fees. That is Curry's, by the way. So I bought a couple of pads from Curry's, and then a few days later my local chain had a 25% off deal if you bought for like $60 worth of stuff. So basically I bought 4 pads and one of them was free. So yeah, this is the Arches cold press is really becoming my favorite paper for now. It's easier to work than the hot press, because hot press is kind of hard to work, but the cold press is really nice. Hold on, I'm trying to. Phone is all buggy. I'm guessing it's kind of old for a phone. It's a couple of years old, so that's like really old, I guess, in terms of phone life. All right, let me close this. I'm just trying to clear as much stuff going on my phone, so it's not as slow. Right. Good. Funny, everyone defaults to lapis lazuli. Well, it is the priciest paint, I think. Does anyone else secretly hate the shell pans? It's just it feels like the shell feels like something you would want on your shelf to be like a decoration, or you know, something to make the space pretty. Not necessarily something I would want to use for paint, you know. But if I'm buying the kind of paints that come in shell, usually I want to use it. I don't want to. Okay, so I'm loading up the board of the Eve Draws pets that perhaps should be dubbed Eve Draws cats and sometimes doggo or others, because it's a lot of cats, but that's fine. It's more than fine. Oh, Dori, I don't know if you guys saw, but Dori has left us. Moment of silence for little Dori. Hey Stephen, how are you? Draw an odd couple, a cat with a mousy best friend. Well, I did that. We had Twinkles and Rogers, right? Twinkle was the cat and Roger was the mouse. I love the way you WhatsApp your phone. I talk to my phone like, hey Siri, Hey Siri. Hey Siri! Well, I don't have any kind of voice recognition on this phone, so perhaps I would be like, phone! Where are you? Because that's what happens most of the time, is me trying to find my stupid phone under like 20 papers and stuff. The hot press is good with pens. Yeah, I think the hot press is really nice for detail work and pens and all of that, but it's sort of difficult to paint on it, so I'm kind of scared of it because of that. Not the person to ask about shells. I bought some stupidly expensive one from our... Well, those are for your hermit crabs. That's fine. I mean, anyone with pets here will definitely be with you on the buying expensive thing for one's pets. But yeah. And he says, I want to like shell pans. They're cute, but they wobble all over when you try to load the brush and then tip over and stain a painting you spent. That sounds like a true story and really not cool. Purest lapis pigment is $235 for 10 grams. Yeep. Yeah, I mean, Dan's Dori. He posted about it on Instagram. Hey, Angie. Yeah, little Dori. I'm glad I got to paint her. I need more supplies as well. I am sorry for the bad news if you were not aware of this. It's not easy to figure out who knows who saw what on Instagram, because they really thought that this non-chronological timeline thing is a good idea, which is not. Yeah, poor Dan. Perhaps I should draw a kind of a tribute to Dori. I could draw her like more cartoony like I do sometimes. I am absolutely not warmed up, so I hope this won't. That's a very me thing to do, though. I want to draw something like with heartfelt feeling and all that, but it's the first thing I draw, so it ends up being the wonkiest of the bunch. And I'm like, yep, that's nice job, brain. I think that Daniel Smith also uses like the ash kind of lapis pigment. Hold on. Eep, sorry about that. Look what I found. Found a big baby. Come on. Vicky. No. Nope. Yep, Scout is not the camera one. I'll scrap that. The most expensive pigment in Kramer is actually purpurissum. It's sold by 1 gram at 88.66 euros, so that's 886 and 60 euros for 10 grams. Yikes, what is that made from? It's crazy expensive. I don't think Inmin is available for sale yet. Might not look much like a hammy, but I need to practice drawing hamsters much better. Words, how do words work? Yeah, Peko is my kitty that's more camera friendly. Oh, so purpurissum is made from snails. Eek. Liquid gold would be cheaper. It's a secretion produced by several species of predatory sea snails in the family Muricidae. Rock snails originally known by the name Murex. I think it's got to be a purple color, right? I think it's the super pricey purple the ones used to color like the clothing of royalty or such things. Go. Hey Cyan, hi. Hey Paulo. Hey Ellen. Hi folks. In ancient times, extracting this dye involved tens of thousands of snails and substantial labor, and as a result, the dye was highly valued. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Wow! It's gotta be royal purple, the original one. Yeah, Cochineal is red. There's so many cute pets to choose from. It's always hard to. I'm just trying to find one that the pose feels like a next step for me to tackle. Like not something too difficult because I'm gonna crash and bomb. You guys have really cute pets. Yeah, a cochineal is a bug that lives on cacti, I think. Cacti. Mini cactus. You can still buy cochineal like the bug, the dried bug, and make your own paint from it. Think I will try to draw Crystal for a very belated cheers for her recovery. Hey Grace, hi. I think I drew those pictures of Crystal though, so okay, let's. After purpurism and lapis, it is azurite that is most expensive. Oh. So there's gonna be like a really kind of big gap between lapis and azurite, because azurite, while being pricey, is still kind of affordable, sort of. That's a really skewed drawing. That's what I get for drawing with my sheet at an angle. Once more. Azurite is 20 grams for 67 euros. That's kind of a lot more decent if you compare it to the other ones. Still very pricey, but I mean... Grace says, picks up a rock in your olden times. I'm gonna crush this. Because the chat is talking about pigments and ancient times when pigments were sort of all like you had to find them in nature. Now you can make many of them through science, but that wasn't always the case, so. Hey Alexandra, thank you so much. I hope you have a great day too. Amicia says, I tried to make walnut hull ink once. It wasn't a success. I think that's pretty interesting. I don't know if you guys have ever cooked with walnuts, but I have a couple of recipes, like vegan pasta sauces, that instead of having sort of meat in there, you add a mix of like crushed walnuts and like carrots that have been processed into tiny bits. And it's really interesting because the moment you add in the walnuts, the sauce will eventually darken and change color from cooking the walnuts. It's kind of really weird. Also, if you have some scratches on wood, certain colors of wood, you can grab just a walnut and rub it on the scratch and it's gonna cover it up for some reason. I haven't tested it myself, but I find it fascinating. Like, how does that even work? I think there's a lot of ochres that comes from France. There are no pigment makers in Scotland. There is a company that makes oil paints that will use earth or dirt from local places and create colors from that. But I think that perhaps since it's an oil paint, you don't need to make it as fine powder as you would for watercolor, perhaps. Oh, so Ellen says the oils in the walnut stain the scratch in hardwood floors. A lifesaver for me. That's really interesting, isn't it? I wonder whoever decided the first time to grab a walnut and go like, I'm gonna rub this on this scratch and it's gonna fix it. You know? Temple says Grandma used her walnuts from the tree out back to finish staining her table every year or two. It was beautiful. Oh, wow. I'm drawing crystals, so of course I gotta try and make her a tiny bit cross-sided. I'm really not. Lines are hard to. Come on, brain. You know what you're doing, somewhat. Oh well. Also beware, if you're too aggressive with the walnuts, the spot can get slippery on a smooth finished floor. Ah! Lata says, I wouldn't know if what I was grinding was ochre or just poo. If she was to grab any kind of earth from Scotland to make paints out of. That's a very valid concern. Feels as if this pen is gonna soon be out of ink. Hey, Stacy. That's not a lot of ink left. Did you guys read about the project that works on reclaiming Vivianite, expensive pigment, from sewage? Says Otto. I think you mentioned it to me and it's pretty awesome. In my opinion, anything that you can salvage from sewage and turn into something nice and useful is amazing. Hey, Heather. need something that to match this spot, so I think I'm gonna draw some bunny. Cute bunny. How is Bun, by the way? Oh yeah, Alexandra, if you are curious about the process of making paints, both Otto and I have videos on the topic, and you can find the link just there in the chat, since the awesome moderators have shared it. Bunnies make for great loaves. Loaves? Havoc is still growing, what, in general, or just her fur? Heather, how can you tell with all the floof? Excellent question. Bun is doing fine. He is getting a bit old now, less active, more chilling, but he is healthy as a bunny. Yay! Otto asks to Paolo, so Daniel Smith and Turner both say they developed the Mayan blue. Who is telling the truth? And Paolo says the Mayans did it first. Yep, that's fair. There's so many pets that I have very limited experience on how to draw them. Whoa, her body has grown more. She's not a very old kitty, is she? She's kind of young. Ruka is getting big now. He's gonna be bigger than you, Cyan. So Havoc is young, but well past the age when most breeds of cats have finished growing. Are there breeds of cats that will finish growing later. I made this like a, I don't know if it's not cartoony enough. The rest of the drawing is not cartoon enough that I can pull it off having a more cartoony shaped eye, so let's try. "24 kilos now." Ow, that's some beefy dog. Maine Coons take 2 to 3 years to mature. So that would really follow along the possibility that she's a Maine Coon. Is she? Maine Coons are usually, well, yes and no. They can be really big cats, but I don't think Havoc is really big. Oh no. Sorry. Drinking stuff is hard, you know. Well, there's a... Oh, mind you, I'm not sure about that now, but there is a couple on YouTube, Rachel and June. They have cats, duh, that's my whole point, but I think... I'm not sure, but 2 of their cats are super duper floof. And I'm trying to remember if they are Maine Coons or Norwegian forest cats. Thinking Maine Coons, but if you decide to check them out, they have 2 cats. One is, I think one is Haru, and the other is Nagi. But one of them is much smaller than the other one, and kind of reminds me of Havoc in a way. So that's perhaps something you can check if you're curious to see a potential reference for Havoc. Otto has a question. Colored glass, they keep coming up as suitable for watercolor as a pigment. think I saw them on Kramer, if that's what you're talking about. So much fluff. They have really pretty cats, Rachel and June. The two floofs are like breed cats. They're super well behaved, and then they have this third cat that they rescued literally off the side of the road, and it's the most garbage cute adorable cat ever. And it's really funny, like if you see any of their videos where they introduce Pokey, because that's the third cat, it's hilarious to watch, because you have these two super nice, super well behaved floofs that are like really calm and almost, you know, I've had training, like they're super duper, like very well behaved, and then you have Pokey that just doesn't care. It's kind of funny to watch. I think the colored glass in Kramer is perhaps sold, that's my theory, but I think they sell it more as something to use for Iwa and Ugu. Like paints that you don't mold before you use. You just mix them gently with binder and then apply with a brush. That's my theory. But yeah, I was like, you can't really mold that. I don't... Because you know, your slab is glass or marble, but let's say it's glass because that's a viable option. And your muller is also glass, so you're like basically, sorry, glass and glass with glass. Either it works and it's kind of weird, either it doesn't and it makes the most awful sound ever possible. Yeah, exactly. June, the dude has a cooking channel where he shows like how he cooks certain types of meals and dishes, and it's really well put together and all that. But he often has his cats, like there's the counter and the cats are sitting on the other side of the counter. For the two well-behaved ones, the two fluffy ones, they're like just sitting there and they look at him go, and he makes them, like, let's say he cuts a mushroom, he will make them smell the mushroom, and cats are curious, but like they smell from a certain distance, so they just smell it very nice, very nicely well behaved, and they just like lean back and they do their cat things. But they couldn't do that with the third one. The third one is something else. I think I'm gonna need a new refill for this. Hey, it's a Kaboo. Hi. The glasses are not all equal. Yeah, but still, I don't know. I still have nightmares about the sound that happened when I doled out my glass marble, my glass slab. That kind of awful screechy sound. I am not looking forward to hearing that again. I wish it was easier to see just how far along a cartridge is, because with the carbon ink it's kind of really hard to see. Hey, it was bad, right? That sound, it's nightmarish. I'm just looking for the cartridges that I need. I know I have some somewhere, because there's nothing more unlike me to not have cartridges for something somewhere. But that's also why I cannot find them right away, because this? It's full of stuff. These are the other ones, not the ones I'm looking for. Sorry for making you guys wait. That's not like it. Oh no. Sorry. Oh yeah, it works really well to dull out the glass, but the sound. Exactly, Otto. That's as if I ever break my mulling plate, touch wood. Yep. I would be so heartbroken just because I know I'd have to go through that sound again. I agree. It is not a great sound at all. Oh, well, I've been using cartridges from this box already, so perfect. That's the refill. This. Good to go. Just grab another piece of paper. I think I want to draw a kitty because I need practice drawing floofy cats. And Kitty is a very floofy cat. And the amount of floof is just unbelievable. So floofy. Aww. It's the season for kitties to be sleeping, isn't it? her eyes orange as well. Did you get this Pentel brush pen, Tsukubu? Okay, well this one is kind of old and crummy, but it's hard to see which model it is, but it's the you know, the black Pentel one with the metallic thingy. Draw a panda, please. Well, if you have a panda as a pet, I might draw it. The idea is that I'm drawing people's pets. Oh, Kitty's face markings are so cool. Does she really have like this sort of white spot on her nose and like over here? That's pretty cool. She's like a fluffy version of Peko. Literally. That picture is like 3 years old. Whoops. Well, still good. Yellow eyes. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's a really fun brush pen, this one. And it's great that it's super affordable because it's really not pricey. It's like, on average, it's about $10. So if you are interested in like working with a brush pen, this is a really nice one to try out. It's like almost as if she had a beard of floof. Floof. So much floof. Kitty. So floofy. Floofy, floofy, floof. My cats are not long-haired cats, but they're still getting quite floof for the winter. And I don't know, perhaps the person isn't live today, but on my latest vlog, someone commented that the orange and white cat was huge. Peko was huge, and I was like, what? No, she's a tiny little kitten. Like, she's not big. She's a small cat, but she gets so floofy, and it really depends on how she decides to. Like, if she curls up to sleep, she looks minuscule, but if she, like, all laid out in my arms because I'm holding her upside down, and she's like super floof, well, she looks big, but she's not a really big cat. Also, I'm not a very tall person, so perhaps that didn't help. Hey, happy late birthday, Tsukubu. New art supplies, that's always a great one. She looks so soft. I wish I could like stuff my hand in the floof. And floofy ears, that's the cutest. Yeah, she looks a lot like Peko. That's really unsettling. It's like Peko's long-haired sister from afar. Kitty seems to be a lot calmer than Peko, though. Peko is a troublemaker. No, Peko, she's a really small cat. It's like in the summer, she usually weighs around 9 pounds, and she gets a bit bigger in the winter because of the floof and because they tend to sleep more when it's cold. So there's a the technique I've seen to spot if your cat is like overweight or not is you watch them when they are standing up. I don't have any paper, but like standing up, you have this. Let's say this is a general shape of the cat, and the tail is over here, and the head is over there. Okay, so you have the ribs and the thoracic cage over here, like the main bulk of their shape is over here, and over here you have their small pelvis, and the spine goes in here, and this is usually much narrower. So the way to see if your cat is a proper weight is when you watch them from the top when they are standing. If they still have the dip over here, it means that they're fine, and the more full that dip is, well, that means that your cat might be a bit overweight. And I can say that both my cats passed this test. I was not offended for real, but I was a bit ruffled because this is the first time in my life that I'm able to like take proper care of a cat so that they are a proper weight. To have someone go, "She's huge," I was like, "No, she's not." Ah. She feels even smaller now when we pick her up because Henry is dense. Yeah. Kitty has her moments. She's a lot more subtle now, though. Most of her trouble involves telling the dogs it's time to eat, and a half hour to an hour early. Oh no. How old is Kitty? Chris says, when Kitty was just a baby, someone said she was huge when we were reading at the vet. I was like, nah, that's all hair. Yeah. That's the thing with long hair cats. Like, they see all the floof, and then at some point, either you see a picture of them after they had to take a bath and they're like, they look like a wet rat. Or you pick them up and you're like, boof, and it's just floof. Exactly. Temple says that they're the hold on, desert, yeah, the desert winter. I think I always get mixed up with desert and desert. Anyway, desert winter is coming this week in the 70s, and the cats, the kikis, are super hungry. Trying to keep them trim leads to complaints. Oh, you tell me about it. All my cats do is complaining about food. They either sleep or they're like, time for food, and I'm like, no, not quite. Popped in a new cartridge, but I don't think the ink is flowing in yet. All I got are two scrappy tabbies now, one small, scrawny, and always goes in trouble. That's Rowdy, right? She and Sue are both 6. Oh, so they are both younger than my cats. So Pickle would be kind of an older sister. Cats are gonna be 8 the next year. They're 7 and a half right now or something. Which makes 0 sense, but yeah. I keep hearing this noise from outside and I'm like, what is that? Is that a truck? Is that... And it's just the wind, I think. Question, do you find black cats harder to paint? Yes, in a way. I often don't paint them full black. I will make them a really dark gray or really dark brown depending on the setting. Like I'm generally having a hard time painting with black unless it's a black and white study. So whenever I paint black cat, that's usually what happens. This is gonna end up being dark gray. I think I might draw one last one and then take out the paints and add a bit of color. Oh, I'm looking at all the cats and I'm like, no, so many cats. I think I'm gonna try and draw Cassie just because I gotta love that frown. That's like the best frown. Oh, I should really draw Marley, shouldn't I? I need to add him up to my Pinterest board. Marley is so brown for a black cat. That's really striking. I saw my friend the cat butt cat. I posted a picture on Instagram of like this butt of a cat at the top of a stairs and just like walking off, but you only see the butt. of a black cat, and it's a cat in the neighborhood, and he or she always sticks around the same like area. So I see the cat quite often, and I try to snap pictures when I can, but I often forget my phone in here, so I'm over there phoneless, and I'm like, kitty, and he's just like, ah, human, and just runs off. But he's a pretty nice, cute black cat. But I will draw Cassie. In this classic cat pose that I call the lamp. You know, the seated pose that's... She has her paws so far apart. That's so funny. Hey, thank you, Temple. Yeah, fluff is not easy to paint, especially if you want to render it realistically. Since I am not big about rendering stuff realistically, I will often just try to suggest the fluff rather than really paint it accurately. Do I have a picture where we see Cassie's tail? Not quite. Seems to be regular fluff tail. Marley is a brown cat trying to pass as a black cat. Yeah, like the head is mostly fine. It's mostly black, but that's because the face hair is often shorter, so you don't see as much of the underfur as the rest of the body. But the rest of the body, that cat is baking in the sun so much that he's gotten brown. Oh, Marley. I was watching a video the other day, and it was not specifically an art video, it was just a video, but there was someone saying that, commenting about that apparently there's a video out there of a lady like in tears because she just cannot cope with the fact that she loves all the cats, and she really wants to hug all the cats, and like she's in tears and she's like, I love all the cats, and the person was kind of, they were sort of like saying, is this an act? Is this like someone pretending? And I'm like, and I was thinking of the video, and I was like, well, it's not literally me, but that's me. Like if I start thinking about cats too hard, I will get really emotional. So. So I was like, it's perfectly fine to cry about cats. What's wrong with that? Is it coiled like this? This is how Scout usually has her tail. Like with the little coil in it. Whoop! I think it's curled in the photo, but it's not exactly the same angle. Like I'm using this as a reference, but I'm not drawing this exact angle. And the tail sort of like goes either forward in the shadow or back behind her, so like it's hard to see. I've seen that video, it's so good, relatable. Yeah, that's basically like, I was like, that's nothing wrong with that video. What is wrong with you guys? It's more right up on her body. Okay, so really like, I'm just gonna draw it like Scout's tail is literally always like this. Whoop. Like that. Is it curlier than that? That person probably got their Canada Post re-delivered. It's quite an old video, I think. So I don't even think weed is in question in here. Oh yeah, I agree. Skabu says that's why I can't volunteer at shelters. I'd want all the cats. Exactly. Like I used to follow, like to be subscribed to a couple of newsletters about cat stuff, and I had to unsubscribe because it would mess me up so bad. Like these, even if it ends up being like a nice story in the end, all the like the hardships, it was taking a toll on me, and I wasn't expecting it, and it was like it's kind of sorry, the same reason why I have struggled with watching the news, because like being reminded all the time that humans are gross in general. You guys are fine, but that most humans are either very average or some of them are really, really bad. It's really depressing, actually. And it's even worse when you realize that some humans enjoy doing bad stuff to animals and put them in a situation that other people have to step in and be awesome. But still, I mean, is that too much of a girl? But yeah, so that was, and I ended up having to unsubscribe because I couldn't bear it. It was way too hard to read about these stories, like someone tossed a cat out of a car while they were rolling, and you're like, what? No. Oh, okay, cool. Curly tail, that's so cute. Donut tail, yeah. Or Cinnabon. That's a Cinnabon tail. Oh, wow. Lasagna. It's delicious. So Tempo says, oh, bunny wrappers here. Bunny wrappers here around and puts her two front paws on the end of her tail. She's holding. Oh. Otto says, do you know how many weird looks we get when we explain to visitors that yes, we do come into the glass house in the park just to feed and pet Marley? Well, it's sort of their fault that they cannot fathom the awesomeness of a cute cat like Marley. Cassie really does have these sort of wide eyes. What am I doing? What am I doing again? What? No, this is bothering me so much. Hey Lana, hi. I don't think I've ever followed a recipe for tofu ricotta. Basically just blend tofu, like plain hard tofu, and add stuff in it, like lemon, basil, parsley, salt and pepper, and I've put that in and stuff. Oh wow, Otto. Yeah, phase out soy and rice cannot be easy. You guys can all see my phone and the notifications I'm getting. No, no, you didn't throw off my game. I was unhappy with the face. It was like at a weird angle, and like since I move my paper and then I draw, I always end up drawing stuff at the wrong angles, and then it bothers me. What the thing that bothers me as well is that I'm getting better at drawing cats, but I'm still not where I want to be, and I often struggle, and I'm like annoyed because I'm like, you should know better than to have to not know how to draw this, because for someone who loves cats, you really like should spend more time drawing them instead of just noodling around on the internet like a chump. So we've drawn many animals. We've done a tribute to Dori and a bun bun and a crystal, a cartoony crystal, and then Kitty, and this is gonna be Cassie. That's actually pretty epic, Otto, because what, you've been off your game for like more than a year now? So it's pretty awesome to read that you feel good again. She's not frowny enough. That's the frown. It's the important feature of any tortie that's worthy of the name. Gotta have that frown. Still bother me, still bother me. That's Bun's favorite bunny yoga pose, legless bunny. I think that was when you were trying to post a picture, Heather, that I drew Crystal. Hi, C64. Welcome. Corn dogs with oatmeal flour. I would have thought this would work out, you know. But I think you could make corn dogs with cornmeal if you don't have any issue with corn. Cassie has some really unique features that I'm not really able to render properly, but I tried. Yeah, it's a mix of cornmeal and flour. Huh. Otto, you're gonna have to start making cooking videos. Oh no, cyan. That's so bad. Oh, Amisha, that's nice. Yeah, everybody who can eat just about anything, sorry. They are really fortunate. Alright, I'll go grab some water and plug in my phone. Oh, and stand up. Ooh, nice. Alright. Oh, sorry. I was stretching. Alright, so which paints? Which is kind of a rhetorical question. Let's grab these. Eep-a-dee-doo. Synergy paints, because they offer a super nice range of animal-friendly colors. Not in the sense that they are vegan, but they are nice for painting animals. Okay, so I gotta go back. That's Sennelier. I have my Daniel Smith paints, but my palette really doesn't fit on my desk, so I don't often dig it out. Which ones? Oh yeah. The quality of the stickers on Redbubble is really, really nice, gotta say. I made Jazz stickers. Jazz being Otto's hamster. Jazz stickers and the Hoarder Dragon. Yeah. I wish I could. This is what I would love to be able to print on my own. That kind of sticker quality, but not gonna happen. You need kind of a really professional printer to be able to do that. You draw pet stickers. Well, I'm not sure it would be okay legally to do that, because these are not my pets per se. But like, if you want one of, say I draw your pet and you want stickers of your pet, I can upload the drawing. I think there's maybe a way to keep it private or on a link only basis, something. I almost did it myself again. I color in the eyes while everything else is wet. Stupid. I always do this. Well, at least I realize before I'm about to do it, but still. Need to find Bun again. Yeah, there you are, Bun. Aww. I'm glad you liked it. It's a kaboot. Yep, by all means, if you like handmade paints, go check out Otto's store, because she has beautiful handmade paints on there, and this is probably the last chance you have of grabbing them if you are interested. It's a really, like, it's insane the amount of work that goes into making handmade paints. Like, making the paint is one thing, but then there's all this stuff about drying it, packaging it, all the wrappers, all the labels, cutting this stuff up, putting it on, gluing, and then you have to make the listings, take the pictures. I think I spend more time on like all this preparation aspect rather than the molding aspect when I make pans. It's been insane. Otto asks, what's your favorite Sennelier color? Very good question. There's one thing, my favorite ultramarine is Sennelier, but it's not necessarily my favorite color. I don't really have a favorite color, which is why I'm struggling so much with that kind of question. I like them all. I like all of them. But yeah, since their ultramarine is my favorite, it's the one I use the most often. Or that I'm the happiest when I get to use it. I really love their cobalt turquoise color. Caput Mortuum is really nice, and these two, they mix together to create a really nice neutral. It granulates a bit, so you have like some of this color a bit more at some spaces, and this will, like, it's not an even color, it's a textured color, which is great when that's the kind of stuff you want. They have lovely greens. This one is weak like that on purpose. They have a great opera that is not too neon. And then Throne is great, Carbazole, Dioxazine is great. It's great, it's great, great paint. Sorry. Lena asks, when are you gonna make paints again? I am currently making paints. It just takes forever to get to fruition. Like, hold on. Of course it's the thing under all the other things. That's my small stock of paints. That I have to eventually get to the point where I list those on the store and have them for sale, but it's really not that much. And I still have more drying. And I have more that are dried that are in need of being wrapped. But like I said, it's a lot of work, you know, painting the wrappers by hand and cutting them and writing them up. And I have these that are drying or dry or in a state of pseudo dry or weird that I need to. Anyway. So yeah, I know I keep saying that I am currently making paints, but it's such a lengthy process and it's not my main focus. So that's why it's taking me forever. Have you ever used White Nights watercolors? Well, I have. Really like them. They're really nice. Yeah, Otto says you gotta cut the wrapping paper, print the label, cut the label, print the outer label, paint the outer label, cut the label, all before you can put them on the pans. A dark color for pan. Hold on. Let me get the first layer on crystal and I will check that out. Like when I started making paints, I was kind of in a transitory place art-wise, so I kind of had a bit more time to dedicate to making paints, but now that I finally feel a bit better about drawing and painting stuff, well, that means I don't have as much time for making paints as I want to. And making paints, like, I have a limited number of jars that I can store paints in, so when my jars are full, I cannot mix any new colors. I gotta wait for these to all dry down. Okay, so which one was it? What was that dark color with 4 pans just below the yellow? Which one? Oh, I'm so glad you're enjoying them, Tsukabu. Oh, this is the other thing that terrifies me, is like making paints, and like this is not a I'm not a company, I'm a person, so this process is as much me figuring out as I go along, you know. I don't necessarily have it all planned and all, so I'm really excited when the paints work out fine. But also, if there is ever any issue, you gotta tell me. On the left, so this way. Well, this is a color and this is another color. These are not the same as these. This is ultramarine blue, super dark. This is German umber. I made some genuine lapis lazuli as well, but that's not one that I can sell, unfortunately, because it is something that a friend bought because she wanted some of the paints. So I made her the paints, but yeah. I made some Indian thorn blue that really worked out well as well. Next to the blue. Hold on, I'm just gonna, you know, I'm gonna call them all out. Okay, so this is zircon yellow, chrome oxide green, zirconium cerulean ultramarine blue, German umber. That's like a pearly white silver color. That's a shimmering silver color. That's some more ultramarine blue, but I don't have enough left to fill. As I said, that's copper. That's Hansa yellow medium. It's kind of more of a prototype paint, but yeah, I've got some naphthol red that is also kind of prototypey. Some shimmer green, shimmer gold, and burnt sienna. That's what's on here. I hope I was on frame. Oh no. I don't have any buff titanium. I don't know if I bought that pigment. German umber is PBR 6, I think. It's just kind of a brown. Hold on. I think cyan is the largest collection of my paints. I think the other person who has a lot of my paints is not really one that comes on the chat, so. Are ultramarine blue namings going to get like men's razor? Oh, I would love that. Mac 3 blue. Oh, that would be hilarious. I think that's what I'm gonna not name them. Hold on. That's my like whatever palette. That's my Indian thorn blue. That's lapis. That one. It's an old one. I don't know if I kept. Oh, but I know what I'll do. Yeah, I think I mentioned it, right? That the Mars Black was kind of a prototypey color that didn't work out well, which is why I didn't want to have you like. That's why I send it as a sort of a freebie, because I'm not super happy with it. So when I'm not super happy with something, it kind of bothers me. But yeah, I think I sent you a manganese violet that was kind of problematic as well, and the Mars Black. Fairly sure I wrote in the note that you had to scrape them off a bit, because that was the problem. Like for some reason they get really dry on top and the binder gets weird. I'm sure I have swatching paper around here somewhere. Or not. Oh yeah, I do. Heather says German umber is one of the favorites that I sent. Well, I will grab it. Some of the pans that I have are like older versions of the paints, so I've often like reworked to make them a bit better. But it's not. Like, I am not super sciencey, so once I got the layers up, they were okay. That's why I knew you were interested in the color, but I didn't know if I would have time to mix a new one, so that's why I sent you the kind of weird one so that you could have fun with it. But see, this German umber that I made for myself is kind of really hard to re-wet, and it's annoying me. just grab one of these. See a fresh one. Yeah, that's no compare. Okay. It's not even fair to compare both of them. With an aggressive grill. Oh yeah. Okay, this is the ultramarine super dark. Yeah, that's what I think too, Paulo. Paulo is right. Paulo says that his guess is that the binder rose and turned too glassy. I think that's what happened. It's really difficult to figure it out because it's really like small process on a very small scale, but I'm gonna get rid of this one and grab a new one for myself. And this is the lapis lazuli. Like it's a. If I eventually have enough extra funds that I can buy this for sale, I would indeed make it for sale because it's a beautiful color. But for now, it's kind of a special. Like I'm really thankful to my friend for getting this pigment so that I can try making this paint and see for myself. Like it's definitely not the same kind of result you get as with ultramarine blue, but I think it's even still better than Daniel Smith. And it's a really nice textured light blue. If you want some light blue, that's a good one to grab. Hey Henry, nice contribution. Oh yeah. Oh, 55 paints. Yummy, that's a lot. Pigment Tokyo is carrying Yinmin Blue in case anyone wants to make me. Oh, I'm glad you liked it, Sukabu. We'll try. It's gonna be a very manual zoom. It's not gonna show super well because of my camera. I love the Indian throne blue though. That's the kind of color that I really like this intensity. That's the thing. And there is one thing with handmade paints that that is really hard to account for is over time. Like I don't necessarily have the freedom to wait a full year, you know, with pans to see how they last the test of time. Some of them become glassy and hard to re-wet, and there's always like some kind of issue that comes up that you wouldn't have thought could happen, but turns out it does. So yeah, I mean, basically, if you ever have any issue with paints that I made, just write to me and we'll figure it out. I can either send a new paint pan if there's a problem, or yeah, something. Reading the name like that, how is it supposed to? Drying shift of which one? In the throne blue? Don't feel like it has much of a drying shift at all. Perhaps it dries a bit lighter. Here, I can put them there. Oh really? I didn't notice that some Inventrolan blues had a really harsh drying shift. Did I? I thought I had sent you an Indian Throne Blue, Heather. Maybe I'm wrong. Yttrium indium, huh? I think it would be easier to make paints if I had the space to set up like my paint making area and not have to clean it up after each time as well. Not in the sense that I leave dirty paint on the slab, but that I can like clean up my stuff and leave it there, and then when I want to mold more paint I can just go to this spot and get set up right away. If I decide I want to mold paints right now, I have to clear all this space, and sometimes that's not something that I can do easily because I have things going on also here. So yeah, one day. Can you see if Crystal has a scar still, or has that disappeared under the floof, Heather? For those who are unaware of Crystal's story, this lovely kitty was bit in her belly, like the not the back of the belly, but the second half of her belly, and she was bit quite hard, and it was not a pretty wound, and there was an issue with and I finally understand how necrosis work while watching some other weird video. But yeah, the nature of the wound and all made that she had to have a lot of skin removed, and then stitching all that together was kind of a lengthy process because the skin has to regenerate and stretch out. But yeah, Crystal made a full recovery, and I am really happy for Heather and Crystal and all of us, of Crystal's friends and Heather's friends. Yeah, dedicated space makes all arting easier for sure. One day I will have my own office, my own like studio, because I have to share. Due to the nature of this apartment, we have to split, which is fine. But yeah, it's convenient, but it's not the most convenient. I used to have 0 studio space, so I'm really grateful that at least now I have some sort of place for my mess. Oh, I gotta show you guys. I found the most fitting, of course, the most fitting pencil case ever. Well, except for the fact that it's a Mr. instead of a Mrs. But yep, that's very spot on. And it made me laugh so much. Mr. Missy. Yep. Grace says, I feel that. I just cleaned my desk and it's still half covered. Yep. Sounds about right. Sounds like how it is. Long cat story, but I need you guys' opinion. No, poor kitty. Lotta says, so a dear friend has 3 cats. One day, one of her cats came home with a broken leg. We don't know what happened. Vet said amputate. My friend didn't want to. So her and I went back and forth with the vet further away many times to get his little leg fixed. He got external pins put in to help. He recovered well. I even had him stay with me for a few weeks while she was on holiday. It's a cool pencil case, Ellen. That says bag of tricks. The problem is, I commissioned a pet artist to make an oil painting of our 3 cats that year for Christmas. I asked for the broken leg kitty to have his pin showing. Everyone looks like undead critters right now because they got these white eyes, but I will be painting them in. My friend really liked it because we spent a lot of time together over the pin leg. Now, new bloke comes on the scene. A few years later, they move in together. You won't let her hang the painting because it's an awful memory. No. And I'm like, dude, you weren't even there, bro. Yeah, it's not a memory for him. He wasn't there. What? How is that a bad memory? The cat, like, humans survived this bad bit and the cat made a full recovery, and I think that if I were to see the painting of the cat with the pin and now the cat without the pin, I guess it would make me feel happy because I would know that he has gone such a long way and is now healed. Let's hope he's the bad memory. Yep, Paulo, you got it. And besides, I mean, I don't know, I guess it's possibly similar to having a photo on the wall of someone in the family during a moment that they were sick, perhaps. But I don't think it's quite exactly the same. We feel the same way towards these things. It's not. I don't know. I have cats, so I imagine, say, I find myself in a similar situation that one of my cats has something bad happen to them. Hopefully not. Let's touch some wood. And a friend commissions a painting and it happens to have the cat in, let's say it's a cast. I would not, the way my brain works, I would see this as a way to appreciate that everything is better now. I don't know. He's completely out of line, that guy, because he wasn't there. He didn't have any emotional involvement at that time in the situation. So he really is out of his depth here by having an opinion on this, which does not concern him at all. Need a finer brush. Whoa, Heather. Watch out, I spot cancer. Bloop, bloop. His argument is that the cat is his favorite cat, so he has a say. First of all, if he has favorites, that doesn't start well anything, you know? A present company excluded. Yeah, of course, guys. How is the painting? I mean, it's an artistic interpretation. It's probably not that, you know, gory or shocking to look at. She should can him. Paulo is really harsh on the guy. I completely agree. It just makes me laugh. Don't often see Paulo riled up. But yeah, you got a full chat of support here, Otto. So if you need a mob to go kick that guy in the shins, we're all ready. I mean, we have cats here, and sometimes we do what most cat owners do, is say, oh, my baby cat, and like if Mr. E is around and I say, oh, my baby cat, whatever, whichever cat, I have to add in, well, it's not my baby, it's our baby cat, but you know, he does the same. So the fact that this shady guy is like, but it's my favorite cat, and would be like, what is wrong with you? How can you have a favorite? You either like cats or you don't. Yeah, we're definitely a bunch of mama cats in here. Yep, only way you can have favorite, I agree. Grace says, my favorite cat is Kitty, my favorite greyhound is Sue, and my favorite puppy is Henry. Only way you can have favorites, I agree. It's like my favorite turkey is Scout, and my favorite raccoon is Pecco. There you go. I can see all of us knocking on the door. Excuse me, spare a minute to talk about your well-being, sir. Yeah, although you can have a favorite. I think Scout is more of a, you have to experience it to really understand it, which describes her life in general really well. But like I cannot have favorites. They're all either awful or awesome cats, and it fluctuates, you know. Never one thing. But I love all the cats. I always kind of have a second thought because I'm the kind of person who sees a cat on a while walking on a sidewalk, and I will like crouch down and be like, "Hey, kitty, kitty, hi, kitty, I got some treats in my purse. Hold on, I will throw you some treats." And sometimes I do that for like a good minute, and then I just check around, and there are people around like doing their thing, and I'm like, oh well, it's fine. Yes, I am this kind of cat person. Deal with it. Is it a sign of a certain status in the cat person world to carry treats around that are not for your own cats? Is that a thing? Oh no, Ryan, that's so sad. Aww. Oh, Ted Temple, that's so cute. They're all tied for feverish trash child, yep. How can anybody in here not have Havoc as their favorite? Well, I think the way I would do it is like, hey, but is this cat your favorite? Yeah, that's my favorite. What about this one? Also my favorite. And this one? Also my favorite. Yeah, but what about this one then? Favorite. Like, they're all my favorites. I love all the cats. Hey, Josephina. Hi. How can your family despise cat, Ryan? That's so weird. I am not good with dogs because I've had kind of weird experiences with them, but like I understand that this is just like a like I always keep myself open for like, well, wait until you see how this dog is, because maybe this one is not like a weird dog that's gonna jump on you and hurt you. And yeah, I've had dogs, and like relatives have had dogs that were super duper nice and really like I was fine with them, but I'm usually not like I like dogs kind of like how I like kids from afar. Oh no, you guys are gonna all run away because I just said that. It's just like I understand that it's because I've had like lousy experiences with dogs that I'm a bit more wary of them. But I see that on a like case by case basis. If someone's dog like it, and most people I know about this, so they won't like let their dog like go all out on me. Or like sometimes when we walk on the sidewalk and there's a big dog further ahead, like Mr. E will will step in front and let me in his shadow. But yeah, it's mostly just because I've been not savagely attacked, but one dog attacked me once. So like literally jumped on me and bruised me. And the other dogs that I like, everyone I knew had big dogs that were not trained well, so it was always like a short person buried on the dogs or like terrified of dogs. So I would love to meet Sue. She seems really gentle. Like I said, it's on a case by case basis. Brian says, strangers' cats never hurt me, but strangers' dogs always try to attack me for some reason. Maybe you're a cat soul inside and they can sense it. I was about to ask what color our Crystal's eyes, but then my brain caught up with the fact that I already know this answer. They are blue. This is really like whatever for the pattern. I'm really sorry, but I don't have a clear view of her butt on the picture, so I'm sort of making stuff up. Doesn't get chose? No. I agree that everyone should train their dogs, and most of the issues I have with dogs are from dogs that were definitely not well trained, and all the dogs that things went well with them were trained dogs. So really, yeah, but I know it. I know she's a color point. I just don't have a good memory of color points. Like there's so many things to learn about cats, like how they look first, but also all the way the patterns work. And finding good reference is not always easy, so I really gotta up my game in terms of, you know, building a better mental library of what cats are like, so that I can draw better cats on the spot like this. I think I'm getting better, but still, there's a long way to go. Okay, now some trickier stuff. A super floof and a tortie. Aww, Crystal is named after her eyes. Yes, she's got really beautiful eyes. I like that with dogs, even if they were not properly trained or not trained before, you can always salvage them in a way. Like you see, a lot of people get dogs from shelters that had difficult lives, and they can always bring them around. Okay, kitty. What size is this brush? I'm really unhappy with the small Skoda Ultimo. Like, I have a couple of 1s and 2s, and they are really not that awesome. One of my size 2 is a complete dud. Never comes to a point, so I think I've shoved it away somewhere. So it's kind of a struggle. But I'm noticing that I wish I had a size 4 at the moment. I don't have one. For smaller brushes, I like to use Raphael's Soft Aqua. It's fake squirrel as well, but these brushes, they keep a point, like no one's business. I cannot say the same for the Ultimo. Ultimo, what are you doing? Let's try this one. Yeah, if you have questions, go ahead. You can ask them. Just write questions before your question, so that I can easily see it. I do believe Superfloof is its scientific name designation. I have to make a dog Saturday. A dog Saturday, right? Should be like a Sunday dog day. Yeah, for the base layer, I probably could have used a larger one. You can submit dogs for when I draw pets. Like well, I didn't draw a dog today, but I will try to draw a dog. I will happily try. It might not be super great, but I will try. Next time someone asks what breed kitty is, I'll tell them she's a super floof. She's a super floof. She is. Happy sun dog. Yeah, Caturday and sun dog. That would be cool. You have some new book with beautiful cat pictures. I wanted to ask if it actually helped you with drawing them. You mean the square book? The one I showed in a previous live stream, I think? If so, yes, that has really helped me. I'm supposed to have a sketchbook in there somewhere. Oh, there it is. So this is the book, right? The awesome book with all the cat pictures in there. And this is my sketching sketchbook for stuff that is not watercolor. But yeah, you can see these are some of the studies I've made from the book. I'm just trying to figure out a bit more about the shapes. This is not from the book. Let's see a few more there. And yeah, so I tried to work with the book, and it has helped me a lot. Seriously, like I know there are not a lot of sketches in there, but what is there has really helped me already, so I'm really looking forward to sketching more cats from the book. And it's kind of really practical because it's something I can do when I'm tired in the evening, or you know, when I don't feel like taking on something as a whole. I can just grab this and sketch cats. Oh, I'm glad you have it framed, Lana. Wow. But it's not that easy. Like if I have to try to draw a dog from memory, it's gonna be really hard. Well, if I have to draw a cat from memory, it's gonna be slightly easier. the toughest part is getting patterns right. I always knew that because of Peko and her weird, like, random white spots. But Kitty is very similar, except it's a pattern I am not super familiar with, so... Question. Art supplies online can be super expensive, but so can shipping. What was the most you've ever spent on shipping? Oof. I really tried to avoid being a lot on shipping because I think probably what ended up costing the most in shipping is the few times that I got caught at customs and they decided that they would charge me all the customs fee. The customs fee in themselves are not that bad, but it's really like the killing blow is that there's a handling fee. Like, regardless of the value of the package, you pay a minimum of $10 if they decide to check your package at customs. And say you buy something that costs $10, well, already that means that it's already costing you $20 to get this thing, which is not super fun. Not my favorite thing. Most of the time, like, the shipping fee will be a factor on whether or not I buy from a certain place, so I don't think I've paid a lot in shipping ever, because I try to not use stores that will have like ridiculous gross shipping fees. Like Jackson's, even if you buy something big and heavy past a certain price, it's gonna be free shipping. And my local art supply store, same thing. Like, if you get to a certain threshold, it's free. So that's what I try to always make bank on, because yeah, art supplies can be super expensive, so I don't want to pay extra on shipping, because bluff. Oh, good night, Linksy. Thank you so much. Canadian customs are mean. They're really evil. What? No, don't do the weird thing. Yeah, that's it. Otto says what I ate is if I get customs fees, but I get charged additional handling fee or admin fee that cost more than the custom fee. That's always the case. Like over here at customs is say you buy something that costs $30. They decide to snatch this one at customs and go through the custom bits of, you know, the process. So from the get-go, you're gonna pay $10 in handling fees, and then you have to pay like taxes on the thing you ordered. So say it was something that was $30. Let's say you pay 10% taxes, so that's an extra $3. And then they had another charge for this, and then they had a, you know, like the value it is, and it's always like something that you bought for $30 costs you $50 in the end, and you're like, well, if it, like, I know there's always a risk of getting grabbed at customs, that's part of the thing, but if I had known that it's gonna cost me $50 instead of 30, perhaps I would not have ordered this thing. Like the advantage, or perhaps the risk of not getting caught, was what made it worth the effort, you know. And it's kind of bad. Like most companies are more often than not, I don't get grabbed at customs. Like it's smarter things and it's fine. But there are a couple of companies that, like, sometimes like it's difficult because it's not super clear. But I've been sent things by people and they didn't like check them in properly, and I was charged customs on something that was meant to be a gift, say. So yeah, the person like filled up a box full of things, and it was kind of declared the worth as quite substantial, and then it gets here and I have to pay like $30 for a gift. It's kind of like, why? Why? Gosh. Like, if it's a gift, just check the thing that says gift. Okay, rent over. Perhaps it's a bit too orangey for Kitty. It's a pretty color though. You guys are talking about dogs, and like I'm reading what I can, but this is a completely unknown world to me. Yeah, the vet system for Finland looks pretty awful. Like, at least with customs, sometimes they don't flag your package for the process, so you get it and you don't have to pay any extra fees. I mean, that's pretty awesome when it happens, but yeah, when you get caught, not like caught because you did something bad, just because they literally grabbed your parcel out of the bunch, that's never fun. Kitty, you're such a pretty kitty. Cyan, does the thing that get marked as gift also get grabbed at customs? So Heather says, I'm trying to clean the litter box and Havoc, the cat, just jumped on my shoulders and sat on my head. Talk about adding insult to injury. Give to. So, is there a way to skip under the custom thing? Cyan? Like, say you order something that is worth like $5. Is that gonna get flagged as well? We were talking about not very legal things, I'm guessing, but I'm just curious to see if it's like this really bad thing overall, or if there's a tiny bit of sense somewhere in there. Like, I guess that legally everything should have to go through customs, right? And we should all pay like fees on the stuff we bring in the country. Yeah, thanks for clarifying, Heather. That cat is just weird. Havoc, not the painting. Kitty's weird too. In person, not the painting. Well, if you find that one of my painting looks weird, you gotta tell me. What's your opinion on Micron PN pens? What is PN for? Oh wow, that's weird, Otto. And do they charge you fees for the package, or it just like get stuck in customs forever? Well, not forever, but for way longer than necessary. Cassie, where are you, Cassie? Cassie, there you are, kitty cat. Oh my god, I really kept the most difficult for the end. Yeah, sure, let's paint the torty and a diluted one too. Why not? Buck flopped down and dangled one leg on each side of. Well, the sketch looked weird. It looks like her now with the paint though. Awesome. Yeah, I think there were some extra lines in the sketch that were a bit confusing in the face. But I think there's only this part that I think I missed a bit. It's kind of too strong. But good practice. Thank you for submitting Kitty to this kind of mess. As much as like torty patterns are complex, they're also really forgiving. Like, I think that as long as you get the main color spot right, the rest can kind of be a bit more loose and it's gonna be fine. No fees, not even open the package or the invoice. What? Oh, pen equals plastic nib. Micron plastic nib. Wonder if I've tried them. Hold on. That's not these, right? These are not Sakura microns. Or is it? Oh no, Paulo! I hope your eyes feel better soon. Yeep. Take care, Paulo. Whoa, it got dark really suddenly. Oh, it's 5. Guys, this is a long live stream. Yeep. Time goes by when we're having fun and doing... The wind is just insane outside. I can see someone's silhouette walking and they're struggling to advance facing the wind. Yikes! It's gonna be fun to take a walk later in the day. Yay! If you don't hear from me, it's because the wind was finally strong enough to lift me off and carry me somewhere. Well, I don't have a shot of Cassie's butt, so I'm just gonna make it blurb. I got that from Ontario. Gee, Ontario, you could have kept your awesome intense wind. The only thing that I don't like about that kind of wind is that it's a bit sad afterwards because all the trees are naked. You don't have a single tree with leaves in. It's always kind of a bummer. Like, aw. I know what's coming and it's not gonna be fun. So Cassie is a really nice diluted Dori, which is possibly easier to paint than a black, like the regular kind. Because we said earlier, like painting black cats is not super easy. Oh, bye Tsukabo, thank you so much for stopping by. Hey Firecloud, hi! Question from Josephina. What were your first watercolor paints that I really used? Like, not the ones that I use in... Well, first of all, over here in school when we were kids, we wouldn't have watercolor paints as much as those gouache block, you know, the round blocks in the trays. That was what we had. And very first set I bought was Pentel tube paints. They're pretty bad, don't get those. Then I got some Cutman the Sketcher, Pocket Sketcher set. We're talking like 20 years ago. And I used those for a while, and then I sort of stopped painting for a really long time. I was also given a bunch of paints by a relative because she passed, and she was a watercolor painter, and I'm sort of the only person who really has any kind of artistic sense in family now. So yeah, her stuff became my stuff, but still I didn't touch it much and didn't paint much with her stuff because I was too busy with school, and digital was all the rage, so I was trying to do digital art, learn Photoshop, and then go to school and learn graphic design and all that. When I came back to watercolors, I realized that the Cutman set was sort of annoying. I bought the bigger Cutman set, I think, before I realized that these paints, they really don't match me. So, yep, then I bought a couple of Daniel Smith. And the first selection I bought was based on Teo Yichi's palette. But we really don't like the same thing in our paints, so that bummed me out, and I was sort of fed up. And then I was like, there's no way watercolors can be like not awesome. I just need to learn more about them. And that's when I started like watching a lot of YouTube videos, and eventually I made my channel. And yep. So I haven't been back to watercolor for all that long. Oh, Nancy, wow. Canadian living in Texas. You really went for something different. Oh, Heather. There is one thing that is great with art, though, is that you don't necessarily need to go to school to learn art. It's a bit more difficult on your own, but it's still very manageable, especially now that we have like all the resources of internet available. And I've done some, not really, like I've studied graphic design and cartoon animation. So it's not exactly fine arts, but it's art related. And you learn a lot of like technical skills and useful skills, but it can also mess up with your brain and your ability to be yourself when you paint. So I'm not sure I'm a strong proponent of going to school to learn how to art, because it can really mess you up, but it can also help you. It really depends on your teacher. If you get the kind of teacher that works well with you, you can learn a lot, but that might not be the case. So I think that anyone who if you're able to structure out some time or to find a way to keep on learning about art, even if that's not what you chose to do some years ago, you can still get there. Like, there is no limit on the age you have to be an artist. You can be an artist at any age, any time. So that's the great thing with this. Like, it's unlike, say, if you want to be a lawyer, well, it's probably easier to start that when you're a bit younger, so that you have time to, you know, absorb all the knowledge and get some nice practical experience. While painting, you can start painting like at any age, and it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be just as valid as if you went to school. It's just my 2 cents, though. There was like one nice teacher who said the ability to open your mind. Well, yeah, art. I think it's a nice way to put it. It doesn't have to be like a really spiritual existent experience, but it's just a way to. It definitely influences the way you see life, even if that's just literally how you observe things. Some people like to express themselves through art. Some people just like to art for the challenge or art for the process. Some people really like just the process of handling, let's say, pencils or paint, and they don't really care about what they end up painting. They just like the process itself. So it's really a really nice thing. Everybody can do it. All right, I think I'm done. Oh, whoa, Ryan, yeah, good luck with the top surgery. Yeah, age is just the number, you know. Okay, I'm gonna say something that might be misinterpreted, but it's really, I don't mean anything bad by it, but you guys are saying, oh, I'm old I'm old to get into this, whatever, but think about it for a second. If you look, like, okay, say art is usually still, even if you don't draw full inspiration from it, it's still a result of your experiences as a person. Like, this simple example, I like cats, I tend to draw cats. That's just, you know, something really simple. But I kind of find that when you look at art made by really young people, it's kind of I don't like saying it that way, but it's kind of surface or superficial. Like, especially if you look at the current trends, there's a lot of drawing like pretty young girls or pretty young witches with tattoos, and you know, not that any of this is bad, but in a sense, it's more aesthetic than meaningful, if you know what I mean. While someone who has experienced more things in life might be able to bring something really more personal to the balance, and to the, not the balance, but to the pool of artists and artwork. Like, you can draw from your life experience something different than someone who's, you know, who's 20 when you're 50. So I don't think that being older is necessarily a bad thing. If anything, that might be a good thing, because it gives you more stuff to pull from when you're drawing, and you've observed and you've lived through way more things. So those are other components that might help you create art and make something happen, instead of, not that drawing like girls or cats for that matter, like, not that just drawing that kind of like surface subject is a bad thing. It's not, but it's different. I don't know if that's making sense, or if I'm just tired because it's been 3 hours, guys. But yeah, no age to. I know it's difficult because everything in society tells you that when you're a certain age or past a certain age, your worth diminishes, which is so freaking dumb. But it's not true. It actually is the opposite. So don't focus on them. Focus on what you want to do and how you feel about it. Everything society says is total lies. I agree. I agree, I agree. Except the thing that says that cats are awesome. Because cats are awesome. Alright, so whew, I need a glass of water. That's been today's pet drawings. Thank you so much for staying with me while I was sketching these and hanging out. It's been, as always, it's been awesome. Truly hanging out on Saturdays with you guys is the bomb. If you want to possibly have your pet featured at some points, you can post pictures of them on Instagram with the hashtag Eve Draws Pets in one word. And I will try to I tried to look up for the hashtag and to save up the images on Pinterest so that I can access the Pinterest board on my phone when I draw the pets that you submitted. There's no guarantee I'll ever draw your pets because I cannot draw that many in a session. And I don't do this session that often, but yeah, if you feel like submitting a picture, who knows? So yeah, these were today's pets. Like I always say, if I drew your pet today and you like it enough that you want to own the sketch, I will happily send it to you. Just like send me a message and we can discuss. Shipping fee like would just be paying postage and I will send the sketch out. No problem. So my voice is giving up. So have a great weekend, everyone. A great big thank you to the awesome mods. Otokano, go check out her channel. She likes paints. If you like paints, you will like her channel. Awesome painter and another pigment nerd, so by all means go check it out. And also Grace, awesome moderator Grace, who doesn't have a channel yet, but that's okay. So thank you guys for the links and moderating. Thanks to everyone for being part of the live stream and hanging out on this day to talk about cats and bodily functions and canning guys who don't like paintings. Boo. Alright, bye guys. Bye guys. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.